Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I'm your host, Ringo. Breaking news. Out in South Carolina, appears to be a breaking story. Daryl Lowry pretty much was unalive by some foster teens. And this is going to be the new Nolan Wells case that a lot of these YouTubers are going to start to grift. So I decided to pretty much talk about the topic before anyone else. 13-year-old Daryl Lowry is pretty much unalive. And it's interesting because they said that there were 2 teens that did this, but they only showed 1. Now, what did I teach many of you folks in regards to rage bait? The news media understand that in order to get clicks, views, you gotta spin a narrative a certain way where there's a white versus a black, because that is what gets the black community jumping. Now, the GoFundMe for this family already done set up. See, guys, I'm letting you know how the hustle go. This is breaking news. I want you to look at that GoFundMe. You can see where it's set. You can see they want $5,500. I teach you guys this all the time, right? So now let me read this. I'm going to get into this thing, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. If you want to join the chat, become a channel member, right? Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube that is fair and balanced when it comes to these cases. Number one, you're going to see this face plastered on a lot of these grifter YouTuber platforms. They're going to spin this as the white tea people attacked another black kid. They're going to say this is Nolan Wells 2.0. They're going to say that, yeah, they drowned him. See, they stabbed him. See, that's exactly what they did to Nolan Wells. They're going to push this story to continue to rage bait and hustle the community. So I wanted to tackle this story before you get poisoned by other YouTubers. So let's go into the news report first, and then we're going to break everything down for you guys. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the content. Let's go.
Tonight, a South Carolina community is in mourning after this 13-year-old boy was found dead in a lake. Investigators say he was stabbed and held underwater by 2 older teenagers. Channel 9 South Carolina reporter Tina Terry learned the young teen from Chester was in foster care. Tina, this is heartbreaking.
The entire family is hurting. He was a well-loved child amongst his entire family, both sides of his family. And for him to be taken away, they're visibly devastated.
Sherry McNeil and her husband John talked to me on Zoom today about their young cousin Daryl Lowry. The 13-year-old was from Chester, but a family attorney says the boy was in the custody of the state of South Carolina, 100 miles away in this small community of Modoc near Strom-Thurmond Lake. State police say Lowry was at a boat dock when he got into a physical fight with 2 older boys. This affidavit says Lowry had lacerations from a knife, and the other boys murdered him by holding him underwater until he became deceased. State police arrested and charged 17-year-old Landon Moore with murder. A 16-year-old is in the custody of juvenile justice.
I was devastated when I heard it.
McCormick County Council Chairman Bernard Hamby seems to suggest Lowry was in his custody. An email from him sent to ABC affiliate WJBF said, "For 13 years, I've been fostering boys who needed a gentle place to land during the hardest times of their life. You can never know what a person person, even a child, is fully capable of. And to Daryl, I'm so sorry for the circumstances that brought you to my home, and I'm heartbroken by how you were taken from this world.
Well, we want full transparency as a community, as a family.
The McNeils say they're organizing a rally in Chester this weekend, calling for justice.
This is not the first time that I've sat before a news interview fighting for justice for a family. It's saddened to know that this time it is my own flesh and blood.
And that justice rally will take place here in Chester tomorrow. It starts at 7 p.m. at the Chester County Courthouse. Reporting live in Chester, Tina Terry, Channel 9.
Hold on, I don't even know why the audio switched up. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can sort that out. Let me do this real quick. This should be better.
Here in Chester tomorrow. It starts at 7 p.m. at the Chester County Courthouse. Reporting live in Chester, Tina Terry, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Some of those details are horrific. Tina, thank you. Lowry was about to start 8th grade at Chester Middle School. The district released a statement today saying, in part, we are all mourning his tragic loss. He was loved by many and will forever live in our hearts.
Now, guys, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for the best commentary on YouTube. Let's get into this particular case because we are pretty much one of the first on YouTube to actually cover this. And I want to make sure that I do this right because the grifters are going to come out of the woodworks. Be prepared, ladies and gentlemen, to see this face plastered all over YouTube by the grifter platforms. They're going to push this narrative of the white people are unaliving our kids and X, Y, and Z. But I'm going to break this thing down so you could get the truth right away so that you don't get caught up in the poison, because some of you guys, you want to be poisoned. You love stories like this. You love when you see a black kid unalive by a white so you could become outraged, angry, and just protest and waste your damn time. But when black people are killing black people in the ghetto every day, nobody cares. So I want to talk about this story because y'all love to say I don't talk about these stories. Y'all love to say that. And I cover every case in the book. First thing first that you got to ask yourself is this. Watch this. I want you to really pay attention because a lot of you folks, man, you get bamboozled and you get played by the media. And I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let that happen on my watch. First thing you have to ask yourself is this. Why the fuck was that kid not in their custody? Talk to me. All of a sudden, you got these two grifters coming out talking about my cousin. Why that child was not in their custody? Why that child, that black child, was in some foster care system out in South Carolina? Why the fuck did these two black folk did not take up that child who's their cousin and bring them to their house? Why? Because they didn't want to deal with the responsibility. That's why. But now that he's dead, they setting up GoFundMes. Make it make sense. It be your own family, ladies and gentlemen, that would never be there when you're going through. They'll never be there when you need a place to stay. That family could have saved this kid. This black kid should have never been in foster care. Now the family want to act like they care. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody should be supporting this damn GoFundMe. Don't let another family grift you guys, man. How much times I got to tell you this, man? Y'all gave the Nolan Wells family $800,000. They still grifting y'all, still playing y'all. We got more to talk about. We got a lot to talk about with the Nolan Wells case. But I wanted to start on this case before all the grifters and their shark teeth jump on this one, because you're going to see them. They're going to be like, they stabbed them. Look, they did this. We're going to get into all of that. Listen, guys, people die every day. You know that, right? People die every single day. Every single day people die. But the thing that you got to think about is this. Why is it that in the media, they love giving us these type of stories? You don't notice that? You don't notice a trend of stories that have been released by the media? People, wake the fuck up, man. Do I gotta cuss your ass out every damn time I go live to make you see? Remember the movie They Live with Rowdy Piper and the other black dude, and they had to fight. He had to beat the crap out of him to put them damn glasses on so he could wake the fuck up. You can't see that every damn story they keep telling us about somebody drowning, somebody stabbing, somebody dying by a white man and this and that and black and this. You can't see the narrative. You can't see that they trying to make you angry. You can't see it. Wake up. Wake up. Why they plastered the white teenager? Why they plastered him all over the screens? Because they want black people who already are siding with the Nolan Wells situation. They want you to get angry even more. This is the devil's game. This is the devil's workshop. It's nonstop rage bait, nonstop hustling to get the black community infuriated to the point where a race war can take place. That's what they want. How much times I gotta wake you up? But before you even jump to conclusions, because I know a lot of y'all frequent all these damn race bait channels like Willie D Live. You got this other Taylor House, whatever. This dumbass ninja always talking about all praises to the Most High, family man. The man is a damn demon. All he do is rage bait. That's all he do. Hustle you. And you're so damn dumb, you keep falling for the grift. Everybody that come up to you talking about all praises to the Most High, you know, the Most High. These people don't follow no Most High. They follow the devil. You know what I mean? You're going to have a lot of grift channels. They are going to spin this story. Trust and believe. Before the night is up, you're going to see Willie D Live. He going to drop a video about this. He going to say, see, the white people are coming back. See, they did it again. Another Nolan Wells. See, they stabbed him. They drowned him. All in South Carolina. But the question that all you folks need to start asking is why the family didn't have custody of this kid. Let's go back to the news brief. We're going to get back to the content. Let me rewind back the tape. Start it back from the top. Let's go.
Tonight, a South Carolina community is in mourning after this 13-year-old boy was found dead in a lake.
Wait a minute. Why would they be mourning? Why would a South Carolina community be mourning when nobody took the responsibility to, number one, watch over this 13-year-old, right? Nobody took custody of him. So why is everybody mourning now? Y'all can't see the play? Y'all can't see? Where was this family to protect this kid? Why the family didn't take custody? They could have adopted him. They didn't want to adopt him. They didn't care. And this is typical in black households. In black families, you folks know good and well that most of your family don't give two F's about you. Some of you went into foster care when you were younger and your family disowned you and did not come to your rescue. Let's go.
Say he was stabbed and held underwater by
the white kid.
Two older teenagers.
A 13-year-old. He was stabbed. They stabbed him, guys. Then they held him underwater so he can drown. And what is this story designed to do? Rage bait the black community so they can hate white people. This is a typical agenda by the powers that be right now. You got to be a strong black man, black woman to be able to decipher these stories and understand the agenda. Yes, it's wrong about what was done to this child. At the same time, I'm calling for accountability on the family of this child, on why none of them seen it in their heart to basically adopt him and take him in. Why was this black child in foster care in the first place? And why his cousins didn't reach out to take custody of him? Why they wait to when he dead and then they want to go set up GoFundMes to collect money? Was this a problem child? Was this a kid that had issues? Was he disrespectful to parents? Like, what's really the story behind this? Where's his biological parents? See, these are the things that I like to talk about. I don't focus on, oh, let's turn it into a race issue. You know, these whitey people and they're just racist and the white supremacists. I don't got time for all of that garbage. I'm not here to rage bait nobody. You understand? I'm trying to focus on, let's make sense of this situation. Because number one, he got into a fight with these kids. And being that all these are foster kids, that's the worst place a child can be. Anybody that ever was raised in foster care, you know exactly the game. It's the worst place a child can be. Because most of these parents that take in these kids, they don't care about these kids. They care about a check. I know a lot of people that had foster kids. They didn't care about these kids. They didn't even feed them properly. They didn't even clothe them. They cared about the money to pay off their mortgages. You have a lot of people that take kids in under foster care just so they could pay their rent. You understand? And the kids are not properly fed. A lot of these kids don't even shower or even go to school. You see? So we got to ask the questions. Let's read what this GoFundMe says. It says, honoring Daryl's life and spirit. Isn't that ironic? They make a GoFundMe honoring Daryl's life and spirit, but the family of this kid never honored him at all. They left him in foster care. That's the equivalent of leaving him in prison. They left this kid on the plantation. We want to talk about the white man this, racism that, and all this other junk. I'm trying to hold the black community accountable. Why the fuck this child was not in the custody of his own family? Why this child was under the care of the state? Where was the black community to protect this boy? Where was the black family to protect this boy? Where they at? I want those answers. Because we know Ben Crump, you know, he have shark teeth. He's coming. He's coming. You understand? Ben Crump is coming. You're going to see him on the news standing beside this family soon. Very predictable because he loves cases like this. Right now, he's dealing with another case. You understand? We're going to talk about that video as well. There's another case that's going down, and Ben Crump jumped on that bandwagon with some black ninja that committed some act, some sort of violence, had some sort of issue. But you know, Ben, he ignores all of that. He ignores what the black man does, and he just cried foul play because he got killed, right? So let's read this thing. It says, hello, my name is Zion Simpson. What is this name? Simpson? Look like Simpson. I am the aunt of Daryl Martins Lowry, 13, who was recently murdered while in a temporary foster home. He was an amazing child, full of life, love, and charisma. He loved his parents, family, and friends. What? And he always wore a smile. Unfortunately, because of his untimely and unexpected passing, we, his family, are in need of financial support. No. Fuck you. No. Enough is enough, people. Enough is enough. We got to say no. No more. I'm tired of this mess. I am tired of these people grifting, man. I'm tired of this, y'all. I am tired of these families coming out of the woodworks talking about we are in need of financial support when they were not there supporting this baby. They were not there to support this child, fam. Now they want to come out talking about we are in need of financial support. Whatever you can donate will be greatly appreciated. And if you are financially unable, we accept your love and prayers. Thank you all for everything. No, don't send them no money, guys. Please don't fall for the grift. This family was not there to support Daryl's life. Daryl was in foster care, fam. And he had a whole family that could have taken him in. I cannot stand the culture in the black community of how effed up it is that you would let this baby stay in foster care, and now that he's dead, you want to come on GoFundMe to beg for money? No. You guys didn't do a damn thing for this baby. And now he dead. Now he dead. You put him in the devil's hand in foster care. You put him in the devil's system, foster care. And nobody cared. That's why it's called foster care. Because the family don't care. So they had to put him in foster care. You understand? So now the story goes where this young kid was unalive by this kid on the screen and another one that they won't show. He could possibly be black. That's probably why they don't want to show him. They said 2 teens, but they never showed the other one, guys. Why? He could be black. And in order to sell the story, remember, in order to sell the story, they gotta not show the other killer because they gotta make you think the whitey people, the white supremacists, the racists, they did it. That way Ben Crump can jump involved. Ben Crump is not getting involved if one of the killers is black. He's not gonna get involved. You understand? He's not gonna get involved if one of the kids is black. Because it be like that in foster care. So these kids decided to beat him up, stab him, and then hold him underwater to drown him, guys. That's how it be in foster care. Guys, do you know little girls in foster care get sexually violated by other foster kids all the time, and these stories don't ever get reported? It never get reported. Matter of fact, sometimes you got kids that get into foster care and their foster parents are their abusers. Foster care is the worst place for children to be. It really is. Because most of the parents, it's like they don't be good people. You know? It makes no sense. Yeah, it's designed to make you think that the other teen is white as well. Because what I'm trying to educate the YouTube community on is this. When you come to Ringo TV, right? I'm the only platform that when I talk about stories, I'm fair and balanced, right? Fair and balanced. One thing we don't do is we don't rage bait. We don't promote hate. We don't divide communities. We don't turn blacks against whites and whites against blacks. We don't do none of that shit. We focus on the story and we try to get the answers. You understand? Yes, this story involves a black kid and a white kid. Yes. The teenager that got arrested is white. Yes. And he's responsible as one of the murderers who held him underwater so he can drown. I want you folks to look at these stories through the lens of logic and understand what the media is actually doing to us. They're trying to create a race war. They're trying to enrage black people. They want us to fight. That's what they want. This is what sells meal tickets. This is what makes money on the grifter channels. You're going to see YouTubers spin this story in a way to enrage black people. They're going to compare this to Emmett Till. They're going to compare this to Nolan Wells. They're going to compare this to every other story and say, see how white people are doing this to us? We need to do something about it. That's what they're going to do, to put batteries in the backs of black folk who don't have any mental maturity. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go out there and end up harming somebody that's white. And then you're going to go to prison for 40 years. You understand? I want you to think about that. They didn't show us the other teen that was involved. Why? They're a killer too. What are they trying to say? That the other kid, because remember, they said the two teens are older than him. Why would they show the 13-year-old? We don't want to hear that shit about, oh, the other kid is underage, because here it is. Daryl Lowry, he's 13. They showed his picture and he's the victim. So why they ain't showing the other one? You know why? Because the other one may be black. He may be black, guys. I bet my bottom dollar the other teen is black. Could be white. But if I was a betting man, I would bet that the other teen is black and they don't want to show him. Why? Because that would mess up the narrative they're trying to paint. They want to make this racial. They want to make this a racial thing. You understand? In other words, race played a part in the killing. In other words, these white people saw this innocent black kid and just decided to drown and stab him. And then what this does, it adds fuel to the fire in the Nolan Wells case. I'm not no supporter of the Nolan Wells case because Nolan is not a so-called African American. You understand? He's Filipino, just like his mama. And they use race in order to push that story. And the family is rich now. They made $800,000 on GoFundMe and another million from all these celebrities that attended their funeral. They got preferential treatment, red carpet treatment. Tyler Perry paid for the funeral. Colin Kaepernick paid for investigation and autopsy and stuff. Are they going to do the same for this family? Will we see this GoFundMe go from $5,500 to $500,000? Will we see that? Because this family didn't care about this kid. Why was this kid in what this person said temporary? Let's read it again. Hello, my name is Zion Simpson. I am the aunt of Daryl Martins Lowry, 13, who was recently murdered while in temporary foster home. Well, why the aunt didn't have him? Why the aunt didn't take care of him? Guys, one thing you have to understand about the black community, there are a lot of families that don't care about kids. Not saying all. There are families that it could be a situation where a child is going into foster care and the family would not take that child. They'd be like, I don't want no responsibility with that. And they'll let the child go into foster care. Why the aunt didn't take care of him? Where are the mothers? How come most women in the black community lost love for the black family to the point where you can have a troubled teen, maybe he can have issues and nobody don't want to care for him. Y'all throw him to the wolves. Now he dead. Now everybody want GoFundMe money? No, don't send these people not $1. Don't do it. People should be in the comments on there saying, stop grifting. Where y'all were when this baby needed help. You got the aunt, you got the cousins, you got everybody speaking out about this case, and nobody is taking accountability. We should not tolerate this type of garbage, guys. Let's listen to the case again for those that just joined in the show. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button.
Tonight, a South Carolina community is in mourning after this 13-year-old boy was found dead in a lake. Investigators say he was stabbed and held underwater by two older teenagers.
He was found in the lake, so they basically left him there to die. Do you understand? It ain't like they killed him and then brought him out the lake. They killed him and left him in the lake, guys. And why am I making this point, guys, of why the media is pushing this? Because they're reminding you of Nolan Wells, guys. And keep in mind, nobody's talking about the Akin Liverpool case with the other black guy that drowned. Nobody's talking about it, guys. They forgot about that black guy because all his black friends were on the boat. But this story, they quickly threw this one out there because they want you guys to remember Nolan Wells. And they want you to see like, wow, this is a trend. They're just killing black people. They're just stabbing us and unaliving us and drowning us in the water. That's probably what they did to Nolan Wells. And that's what people are going to say. The YouTubers are going to start to grift and they're going to say, see, you see what they did to this little kid? They did the same thing to Nolan Wells. That's what they're going to say, gang. Don't let them divide us as a community. We have enough racial issues in the world, guys. We have enough, man. Let's look at this logically. This is an unfortunate situation. Kids killing kids. We live in a sick world. But what exactly is the agenda of the media? Why are they focused on this? They could have kept, listen, those teens that did it, right? They could have kept that, like, okay, he got stabbed, killed, drowned teens and say, you know what? Let's not stir up this racial stuff by posting this white kid's face. Let's not do that. Let's just, all right, it was a tragic situation, bad. He got arrested. He's going to be held accountable. Okay, cool. But no, the media is the main ones promoting racial issues, guys. You got to look at it for what it is. They know these type of topics, they sell. They really do, guys. If I just did a poll, and I asked, how many of you are more interested in hearing about crime stories that involve blacks and whites or crime stories about blacks and blacks? The majority of people would say, I want to hear more about stories with blacks and whites. You know why? It's called rage bait. People love rage bait content. But now, in order to do rage bait, I got to explain to you what rage bait is and how it's set up. Rage bait content mean that I, as a content creator, I would have to come on YouTube and I would have to make a racial issue about this case by saying, you see, we can't trust white people, these racist white people. I would have to make sure that every word that I speak infuriates black people so that they could be against white people. You get it? In other words, all my words have to be anti-white or make black people feel like we need to be concerned about our children being around these whitey people. That's how you professionally post rage bait content. You got to keep stressing it. And then you got to bring up old stories of other black people that died. You got to bring up Sonia Massey. You got to bring up the situation that happened in New York, the Daniel Penny case. You got to bring up all stories in regards to like Trayvon Martin. You got to bring up those stories while talking about this story to be successful in rage baiting people and dividing the community. That is what most YouTubers are doing in order to get a check. If I want to do that, guys, I could lie to you all day. I could rage bait you all day, but that's not my character. I'm not going to waste my time doing that, guys. I got to talk about the stories and be impartial. Do you understand? Impartial. What I like to do is hold people accountable. What I need for all of you to do is listen to the news report and ask yourself the question on why the family of this kid didn't take him into their home. Why they didn't do that?
Tonight, a South Carolina community is in mourning after this 13-year-old boy was found dead in a lake. Investigators say he was stabbed and held underwater by
That's going to infuriate you. Stabbed and held underwater.
two older teenagers.
Two older. Guys, did you catch that? Let me rewind it back so you can hear that, because I'm trying to figure out why they're not showing the other teen. The other teen is not being shown, guys, because he's most likely black. Let's go.
Dead in a lake. Investigators say he was stabbed and held underwater by two older teenagers.
Two older teenagers. So if they're older, why they only show this white kid? why they only show that one white kid if they're two older teens. Why? Because they're hiding something, guys. They're hiding something. They don't want to post this as a white kid and a black kid did this to this black boy in order to sell. Listen, fuck the news media. They're devils. Do you understand me? Guys, when I tell you that other teen is black, the other teen is black, guys. The media know what they're doing. They're trying to rage bait, man. Why would you plaster the white kid's face? Why? If two of them did it, if two teens did it, shouldn't you post the other one? They can't sell it, guys. Remember, the news media is looking for clicks and views too. They got advertisers that pay their bills the same way like YouTube, guys. The same way like content creators that grift, they get money from ad revenue. The same way the news media got sponsors and ads and different people that support in order for them to make money. So they need ratings. So if they were to sell this story with two teens murder a black kid and one of the teens that murdered the black kid is black, guys, that's not going to sell. It's not going to sell properly. I mean, just look at this white kid on the screen. The first thing you're going to think of, he's a racist. That's what the black community going to think. He hates black people. That's what they're going to spin, guys. So if you put a black teen with a white teen as the murderers, could you really spin this as, oh, the white kid is racist? He come from a white supremacist home. You can't. You can't spin it that way. I'm trying to make you folks have the knowledge to think logically. You cannot spin a story as racially motivated if you have one black teen and a white teen that killed this 13-year-old. You cannot say the white kid is a racist because why? His buddy, his accomplice is black. So what are you going to say about that? You can't say nothing about it. But if the media omit that information and we run with this story without further investigation to find out who is the mystery teen, that should be the goal right now. The mystery teen. Who is the mystery teen that unalived this 13-year-old? A baby. 13. Gone. Stabbed and drowned. Horrific killing in South Carolina. Let's get back to the story. Let's go.
Channel 9 South Carolina reporter Tina Terry learned the young teen from Chester was in foster care. Tina, this is heartbreaking.
Foster care. Heartbreaking. Notice the media said heartbreaking. First of all, that reporter don't give a fuck about that baby. Let's just call it what it is. Anybody that's involved in media, in your training, they teach you not to show no emotions, ain't no crying, ain't no nothing. Anybody that understand anything about broadcasting, anything about news reporting, anything about these people that do this job as a news anchor, you cannot put no emotions in these stories in terms of, oh, tragic, sad. They say those words to trigger the emotions in the viewers, to infuriate you guys. That's what it's for.
The entire family is hurting. He was a well-loved child.
If he was loved, why he wasn't in your care, hypocrite? If he was well-loved, why you two didn't take him in your house? If you're black and you love black people. See, this is the part that you will never hear on the grifter channels. The grifter channels will make this a race issue. I hold black people accountable. I hold everybody accountable. Why this child is in foster care? If you got two able adults sitting right there and they didn't do nothing to save him. They didn't care about him. But now they want to set up GoFundMes so they can raise money to pay their bills. Because all these GoFundMes, guys, aren't you tired of seeing people set up these GoFundMes every time somebody dies? I get it. Sometimes people need help. I get it. But where's the family to help this child before he died? We wouldn't have no need of no GoFundMe if the parents was there for their own baby. If the family was there for this kid, we would have no need for this, guys. Why they weren't there to support him? They raised $1,000, $1,200 they raised. Did that family spend $1,200 on this boy to buy him clothes, to buy him shoes, to keep him out of trouble? Did they put him in a program? Did they give him a PlayStation, something for this kid to stay off the streets rather than being out in the woods by the lake somewhere to get killed? Where were they? These are the questions you got to ask yourself. Rather than getting emotionally invested because a black kid got unalived by a white, you as a black man, black woman, got to say, where the fuck was his goddamn parents? Where were they? I'm tired of everybody making everything a damn racial issue and nobody's holding the damn parents and the family accountable. You mean to tell me that these two people are the only people that is kinfolk to that kid, a 13-year-old? A 13-year-old should not be in foster care. If you got a black family, if you got black family, aunts, cousins, this one, that one, fam, they supposed to all be chipping in to take care of you, to protect you. They didn't care about this kid, man. Nobody in that family cared about this kid. My job is to expose the truth. Don't let yourself get emotionally ripped off by the media who want to put a damn battery in your back and turn you into an NPC because all you see is race, but you don't see accountability on the black community to protect they damn kids. Guys, when I was a young kid, my mama was on crack cocaine, bro. Drugs. Do you understand me? Drugs. Me and my other two brothers in the house starving. Mom out in the streets doing God knows what. 2-3 days out. And I love my mama. You understand? She died of cancer. She got free from drugs. By the time I hit 13, she was on drugs from when I was the age of 5 all the way to about 12, 13, gang. And she got free from drugs when I hit 13, man. She got free, gave her life to Jesus Christ, got into the church. The church really was very helpful in cleaning her up, man. They cleaned her up, got her life right. She was always a good mom, bruh. But when she was on them drugs, man, she was a different person. But guess who saved us, man? Guess who came there to deliver us? Because we were going into foster care. When the social service worker came to the crib, it was because the neighbors called them, because they recognize kids are in that house and they don't see my mom. The neighbors call. And when that lady came to the crib, she walked in, the place is dirty. Everything is all over the place, just messy. The whole fucking house was nasty. Do you understand me? See, when I speak, ladies and gentlemen, I speak the truth. I don't got no damn time to lie. You understand me? She came in that house. Nobody was there but the kids, us. Hungry. She asked, where your mama at? My elder brother was like, oh, she went to the store. So the lady asked me. I said, my mom haven't been here in 3 days. Lady started to cry. She went and opened the refrigerator. Nothing was in the refrigerator. She was like, when y'all last ate? Like last week. What? She started to cry. You know what she did? She left and went and got us McDonald's. She bought McDonald's back, came back to the crib, started talking to us, talking about, they're going to come get you. They're going to take you guys and separate you. She said, do you have any other relatives that we could call? I said, yeah, my grandma. And we got a hold of my grandmother, and she eventually came out to get us. And you know what's so crazy is my grandmother didn't know that my mama was on crack. That's the thing about the crack epidemic back in the day. I'm 49 right now. I'm a grown ass man with a whole family. You understand? but I'm giving you the real. Foster care was on the way to take us out. And back then, BCW and all of them folks, they will come and take your kids and separate them. They don't care. And she contacted my grandma. She came out there. She picked us up and took us into her care, because that's what family is supposed to do. If my grandmother said, F those kids, I don't want no responsibility, we would have went into foster care. So at the end of the day, this 13-year-old had the option of being in the care of his family. They denied him. But now that he's dead, they want to all come out of the woodworks to set up GoFundMes so they could raise money to pay their damn car notes, pay their rent. No, fuck them. Don't give them a damn dollar, because they were not there for that child. We got to hold these people accountable. Y'all so quick to judge and ready to point your finger at the murderer. We know the murderer guilty. The murderer gonna get their time in prison. They gonna get they just due. What we need to do is hold the so-called family accountable on why they weren't there to protect this baby. Why they weren't there to bring that child in. Because my grandma was the one who brung us in her house. And you know what's so fucked up about my situation when I was a kid? When the so-called social services came over and my grandmother came to pick us up, it was Christmas Eve and we didn't even know as children. We didn't even know that it was Christmas Eve, dog. That's the damn truth, I'm telling you, fam. We in the car going back to my grandma's crib. We seeing lights and trees and all this other stuff. And my grandma was like, you know, she's in the car just confused. And we're like, look at the lights, look at the lights. And she's like, it's Christmas. And we're like, Christmas? It's Christmas? We didn't even know nothing about that. That's how sick and crazy our story is. You see what I mean? If my grandmother didn't bring us in, fam, we were going to foster care, y'all. So when you look at this family, why they didn't take that baby in? You know, family know all your business. Anytime drama go down in the family, everybody always got the scoop on what happened. So if the baby's going into foster care, trust and believe, social services is reaching out to the family first. You just don't go into foster care. They reach out to family. They be like, look, do you got any family that live nearby? Any family in the city? Because they don't want to technically throw your kids in an environment that's toxic, man. But it be family that reject you, man. They be the ones that be like, nah, I don't got no room in my house. I don't want to deal with this. That's what happened, y'all. So to see these two acting like they care about this kid, they didn't care about this kid, man. If they did, he would be in their care.
Amongst his entire family, both sides of his family. And for him to be taken away, they're visibly devastated.
What? Did you get that? Listen to this toxic poison again. Listen to this mess.
Amongst his entire family, both sides of his family.
Both sides of his family? So both sides of his family are so saddened by this loss, but none of you ninjas decided to bring that baby in? No, we blaming you. I blame you. I blame your family for the loss of this baby. I blame the black family. They're responsible for this, man. They are responsible. This baby should be alive right now. If this kid was in the care of a loving family that cared about him, that cared about his future, they would be taking care of him, knowing that he's just a baby. Whether he got issues, whether he could be a problem child, or maybe the mama did something crazy, maybe, maybe he could have been abused by his parents. Because sometimes a child could be abused and they could put a child in foster care because the parents did something crazy. I seen that happen too. But why the family didn't take him in, y'all? That's what you got to ask yourself. And why this person is on the screen talking about their family is so concerned now. Why?
amongst his entire family, both sides of his family. And for him to be taken away, they're visibly devastated.
Sherry McNeil and her husband John talked to me on Zoom today about their young cousin, Daryl Lowry.
Their young cousin. So this young cousin out in South Carolina get unalived by two teens. And now all of a sudden the family cares.
The 13-year-old was from Chester, but a family attorney says the boy was in the custody of the state of South Carolina, 100 miles away in this small community of Modoc near Strom-Thurmond Lake. State police say Lowry was at a boat dock when he got into a physical fight with two older boys.
A physical fight with two older boys. Again, guys, I got to keep stressing this. I need for you guys that are in the clouds, those of you that are watching the stream, to think logically. Two older boys. The victim is 13 years old. That's one of the older boys that was arrested. The media painted him on the screen as a white kid. If he is an older teen, where is the other teen and why they're not showing him? I need for all of you to think. Use your brain. Don't rush to judgment. Don't turn things into a racial issue. Let's just look at the story for what it is. A white kid, black kid, but there's another missing link. And the media don't want to show. I'm going to be on the hunt for that other teen. I want to know who they are. Because if they're white, they would have showed them already. So based on logically speaking, the other child is black. Why? Because they're foster kids. And in the foster system, they'll round up all different types of kids and throw them into one pool. You know? So these kids were basically bullying this kid because they're much older. So if the kid is 13 and he's a victim, that means these other kids are in the ages of 17 and up. You know? They wouldn't say a 15-year-old. No. So it was my opinion that the other murderer is black. And they don't want to show that kid because it will disturb the narrative they want to spin.
His affidavit says Lowry had lacerations from a knife, and the other boys murdered him by holding him underwater until he became deceased.
They held him underwater, gang. Under.
State police arrested and charged 17-year-old Landon Moore with murder. A 16-year-old is in the custody of juvenile justice.
I was devastated when I heard it.
McCormick County Council Chairman Bernard Hamby seems to suggest Lowry was in his custody. An email from him sent to ABC affiliate WJBF said, "For 13 years, I've been fostering boys who needed a gentle place to land."
Notice this, guys. Notice what he said. We gotta park the car right there. For 13 years, I've been fostering boys who needed a gentle place to land during the hardest times of their lives. Let's park the car right there, guys, and talk. Because this is significant to the story on why I say we need to hold the family of this child accountable. Don't support this GoFundMe. Do not send not $1. Spread the word. Don't send no money. Let's stop doing this, man. Let me explain why. Look at what it says. It says, for 13 years, I've been fostering boys who need a gentle place to land during the hardest times of their lives. You can never know what a person, even a child, is fully capable of. And to Daryl, I'm so sorry for the circumstances that brought you to my home, and I'm heartbroken by how you were taken from this world. Are you seeing this? This is a statement from the foster father. So he's not to blame in this situation, guys. He's not to blame because for 13 years, he's been fostering boys who needed a gentle place to land. How come this child couldn't find a gentle place in the black community? I want all black people that are ready to talk about white people are racists and how this white kid is the devil and all this other negative stuff to rage bait and cause division. I want you to think, why is it that the white man had to be a foster dad to a black child when that black child had a whole family, cousins, aunties, everybody who could have took him in? But yet we want to blame white people for his death, even though there is a white teen that is responsible for his death. But you understand what I mean. When we see these stories, the black community like to turn it into a racial issue where you start to look at all white people as if though they're all racist and they're all out to kill you, when that's not the case. Like I told you already, out in North Carolina, I met a lot of nice white people, Southern white people that are good hospitality, friendly, kind, no issue, no nothing. Am I saying there ain't no racists out here? Of course you got racists out here, but I don't care. I don't walk around worrying about if somebody's a racist. What I'm saying is I'm not going to judge and condemn anybody that's white. I'm not doing that mess. Because if the so-called stepdaddy, right, was racist, he would have never took in that child. He would have never took him in. Like, I don't want no black child around me. Why not, sir? Well, I don't want none of these N-words around me. Out here, out in the South, I don't want none of them out here with me. I just want, bring me some white kids over here. I don't want to deal with these black kids. But he's not racist. That's why he said what he said. He said, for 13 years, I've been fostering boys who needed a gentle place to land, meaning just a place to stay. He's an old guy. He lived his life. He probably got property and land, and may not be much, but it's a place where kids can stay temporarily until the system can move them elsewhere. That's pretty much it. And he most likely probably get a cut from the state, because you know how that go. So it's not his fault that the kid is dead. It's not like, oh, well, he should have been there. And, people love to blame everybody. The ones we supposed to be blaming right now, guys, is the family of this kid, because he should have never been in foster care. He should have been in the care of his family. Where's his mom? Where's his dad? Why his cousins and his aunties and grandmothers? Typically grandmothers take these kids in. They be like, oh, give me the baby. Oh, y'all having issues? Bring him over here by my house. Grandma be ready to take you in. In my situation, my grandma took us in when we was kids and prevented us from going into the foster care system. My mama got right, got herself cleaned up. She got off drugs, did what she had to do, get a job, and she was on a straight and narrow. And eventually she got cancer, and the cancer took her out before the pandemic. You understand? Before that pandemic situation happened, that she pretty much passed away. It was about in 2019. And that messed me up when my mama passed away, because she was the best mama in the world. You understand? But if it wasn't for my grandma to take us in, we would have been in foster care as little kids. And we were young, very, very young. I'm talking about probably, I think my elder brother was probably like 9. I was probably like 5. You know what I'm saying? My baby brother probably was like 2 or 3. So we were going into foster care. So thank goodness grandma was there. So I'm trying to figure out for the life of me why the family didn't love this child enough to bring him in their home temporarily till his mama get herself together. Why the family is not talking about the mama in the GoFundMe? Where's the biological mother? You understand? Where's the biological father? See, these are the questions that the black community hate, because it puts the mirror on them. They don't want to answer these questions. Instead, they'll just tell me that I'm a sellout, that I'm dancing for white people. I'm not dancing for nobody. I'm holding people accountable. Where the family at for this boy? Where they at? Because if he's dead, there gotta be a funeral, right? So where mama at? Where daddy at? Nobody don't know. So these are the things you guys gotta understand before you start sending money. Look what it says. Hello, my name is Zion Simpson. I am the aunt of Daryl Martins Lowry. The aunt, Miss Aunt, where is his mother? Why are you setting up a GoFundMe for? You weren't taking care of this boy. Why are you raising money? You were not the one caring for him. The one who was caring for him is the white man. The white man was the one caring for him. So why is people sending money to the aunt? Bro, why are y'all sending money to the aunt for? The aunt wasn't the one taking care of him. What the heck is wrong with people, bruh? He's the foster father right there. He was the one that was caring for the boy. He said, I'm sorry for the circumstances that brought you to my home. So there was some circumstances that brought Daryl to his home. We need to find out what kind of circumstances brought him into foster care. That's what we got to find out. Don't just rush to start sending money to a family that didn't give a fuck about this baby. Just because he black and he got unalived by a white teen doesn't mean you just start sending money. Hold the family accountable, bruh. Start asking questions. Because what I'm saying is real. Look what the white man says. I'm so sorry for the circumstances that brought you to my home. What was those circumstances? We need to know. Something happened, guys, in that family. It could have been a domestic issue, father beating up the mother. Maybe the mother unalived the father, or the father unalived the mother. Or maybe the parents was abusing the boy. Maybe they were beating the crap out of that kid, abusing him. But nobody's talking about it, fam. What if it come out that you guys are donating all your money to GoFundMe, and it comes out that that baby was being abused by his mother and father, and he was placed in foster care? How would you feel to know that you donated all your money to a family that didn't care? You know how many black kids are being abused? You know how many black girls are being sexually abused by their own family? You know how many horror stories are going on right now? But yet nobody's going to listen because the black community don't like to take accountability when it comes to stories like this. They keep making everything a race issue. When I speak, guys, it's all about accountability. Yes, a white teen was involved and unaliving this black kid. It's messed up. It's bad. But I'm not turning that into a racial issue. I'm not doing that. It's just another story, another crime, and that's how I'm treating it. But I'm not going to sit here trying to turn the black community against the white community and turn it into this racial divide. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to program people and put batteries in their back saying we need to hate white people now. They're evil, see? The white supremacists. I'm not doing that. So if you came here looking for that toxic stuff, you're not going to find it. Because the white teen that did this, along with his accomplice, they're going to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Do you understand? They're going to get their just due. But at the same time, let's hold the family accountable. The family didn't care about this kid. The one who cared about him was this man. This man made the decision to bring that boy in his house. Unfortunately, the child was out there. He ran into some other kids, and this happened. And they have a lot of troubled kids that are in foster care, guys. A lot. Troubled kids, troubled teens that are in foster care, and they abuse and they bully other kids. It happens all the time, guys. Let's get back to the content. Hit the like button, guys. Stop hating.
in the hardest times of their life. You can never know what a person, even a child, is fully capable of. And to Daryl, I'm so sorry for the circumstances that brought you to my home, and I'm heartbroken by how you were taken from this world.
Well, we want full transparency as a community, as a
What? This hypocrite talking about she want full transparency. Doesn't that sound familiar, guys? Doesn't that sound like all the other stories that we keep hearing? What do you want full transparency? You know what the full transparency you need to say? You need to be concerned with the fact that you folks weren't taking care of this baby. You understand? Y'all two could have took this kid in and took care of him, but y'all didn't do that. But you want to talk about we want full transparency. What a joke, man. Full transparency when they weren't even there for the baby.
You to my home, and I'm heartbroken by how you were taken from this world.
Well, we want full transparency as a community, as a family.
The McNeils say they're organizing a rally in Chester this
A rally? A rally for what? Are you guys seeing this, guys? Are y'all seeing how they turning this into a race issue? Are y'all seeing this? Have you guys noticed that whenever somebody white die, you don't see them doing this? They suffer their loss, they have a funeral, and they keep it moving. But with black folk, you guys will go and rally justice and this, and you're doing too much, man. What the real justice is the fact that you folks weren't there for him. The family of Daryl Lowry was not there for him. So for them to be rallying, it makes no sense. They're going to do this tomorrow, guys. Like I said, this is breaking news. Breaking news. You're going to see other YouTubers talk about this story, and they're going to distort it. They're going to paint it in a negative way to create racial tension. You're going to see. They're going to talk about the racist and the white kid is a racist and a white supremacist, and the kid was in a sundown town, and they're going to spin this thing with all the key phrases that trigger black people. Imagine this kid just died and they starting a rally on tomorrow. Ain't that crazy? This doesn't make no sense, man. Shout out to Zato for the membership. Appreciate you joining. Right. Why she didn't want full custody of the boy? Makes no sense.
Weekend calling for justice.
This is not the first time that I've sat before a news interview fighting for justice for a family.
What? This is not the first time you'll be fighting for justice for your family? Are you seeing this, guys? She made it a racial issue. And notice the goofy on the side there. He's not even speaking. He's just sitting there like a mannequin. Why is it that the woman always talk and the man don't? Have you noticed that, guys? Like the men just stay quiet and just let the woman talk. This goofball is just sitting there while she running her mouth, saying everything.
Weekend calling for justice.
This is not the first time that I've sat before a news interview fighting for justice for a family. It's saddened to know that this time it is my own flesh and blood.
She's talking about flesh and blood, but she wasn't there for the baby.
And that justice rally will take place here in Chester tomorrow. It starts at 7 p.m. at the Chester County Courthouse.
So they're going to be doing a rally after the baby died. The family's not mourning. Instead, they're trying to use it as an opportunity to make money. Y'all can't see that? Guys, they're trying to use this story to make money. That's what they're doing. Guys, do anybody want to take a bet with me that this GoFundMe is going to be raised from $5,500 up to about $25,000? Anybody want to take a bet? Do anybody want to bet Ringo TV? Do anybody? Any takers? Because I can guarantee you, once they reach that goal of $5,500, that GoFundMe is going to go up. The black community uses GoFundMe like a slot machine when it comes to getting paid. And they always acting like they're trying to fight for justice, but they really don't even care about their own flesh and blood. They don't. That family wasn't taking care of this kid, but now that he dead, we have the aunt setting up GoFundMes so she could get paid. How do you know that money is going towards that child? How do you know that? That money going to her pockets, y'all. Her pockets. It's so sad how the exploitation of children is at an all-time high, man. It's at an all-time high. They just keep on exploiting kids. That's all they do, man. Exploiting these kids for personal gain. That's all they're doing, man. It's just sick. I can't stand it. I can't stand how the black community just keep on doing this type of evil, just setting up GoFundMes, man. Let me read this thing from the website. It goes on and says the family of a 13-year-old Chester boy is demanding answers after investigators said he was stabbed and held underwater by two older teens at a South Carolina lake. You see that? He was held underwater by the teens at a South Carolina lake. Held underwater. Ain't that something? Underwater, where he couldn't breathe, couldn't come up. He was probably fighting for his life, fighting for air, and they held him under the water. Those are demons, man. Those are not teenagers, man. When you got kids killing other kids, that's the devil at work. The devil is in the earth. Demons, NPCs are in the earth killing people. And NPCs come in all shapes and sizes and colors. It goes on and says Daryl Lowry, who was in foster care at the time of his death, was killed during a confrontation near a boat dock in McCormick County, according to state authorities. Channel 9 South Carolina reporter Tina Terry learned that the teen from Chester was in foster care. His foster father and his family are heartbroken. Well, why would his family be heartbroken when they didn't care about him? The boy's family in Chester is calling for justice and transparency. What? Why? Why are they calling for justice and transparency? Justice would have been them taking care of the baby. It says, quote, the entire family is hurting, and Sherry McNeil, a family member of the victim, he was a well-loved child amongst his entire family, both sides of his family, and for him to be taken away, they're visibly devastated. Now, it says both sides of his family. Key words, both sides of his family. So now we're dealing with the mother's side and the father's side. So now we gotta think, like, what kind of family was this? Was it a black and black family? Was it black and white? Is his mother white? Is his mother black? What's his father like? We need to know these answers, because when they word things like both sides of his family, and for him to be taken away, they're visibly devastated. Well, why both sides of the family didn't take the boy into their care? These are the answers I want. I'm raising this question. Why both sides of his family didn't take him in? So it goes on. John and Sherry McNeil spoke with Terry on the phone on Friday about their cousin, Lowry, who was a student at Chester Middle School. The boy was from Chester, but Lowry was in the custody of the state of South Carolina, 100 miles away in a small community called Madoc, near Thurmod Lake. State police said Lowry was at a boat dock when he got into a physical fight with two older boys. An affidavit said that Lowry had lacerations from a knife, and the other boys killed him by holding him underwater until he became deceased. State police arrest and charged a 17-year-old Landon Austin Moore with murder. So Landon Austin Moore is the killer, and he was charged with murder. Well, what about the other teen? See, these are the things that I'm trying to put together. What is the other teen charged with murder, or did they let the teen go? Right? So it goes on and it says, now watch this. It says a 16-year-old is in custody of juvenile justice. So, whoa. So we show the image of the 17-year-old, but we don't want to show the image of the 16-year-old. So now we got the ages. The victim is 13. The killers are between the ages of 16 and 17. And they didn't show that one. It goes on and says, I was devastated when I heard it, Sherry McNeil said. McCormick County Council Chairman Bernard Hambley seemed to suggest that Lowry was in his custody. An email from him sent to ABC affiliate WJBF said, for 13 years, I've been fostering boys who needed a gentle place to land during the hardest times of their lives. He added, quote, you can never know what a person, even a child, is fully capable of. And to Daryl, I'm so sorry for the circumstances that brought you to my home, and I'm heartbroken by how you were taken from this world. It goes on and it says, quote, well, we want full transparency as a community, as a family, said John McNeil. The McNeils said they're organizing a rally in Chester this weekend calling for justice. Why? You're calling for justice if the kid was already arrested. So what exactly are they doing? They're trying to raise money, fam. They're trying to raise money. Lowry was about to start the 8th grade. The Chester County School District family extends our sincere condolences to the family of Daryl Lowry, who was one of our beloved students. The district said in a statement, we are all mourning his tragic loss. He was loved by many and will forever live in our hearts. It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy how this story unfolds and how this family is literally trying to raise money. It don't make no sense. They didn't even say, this is for funeral costs and this is for this. And no, she's just trying to raise money for this boy. She's trying to raise money, guys. You know? Yeah, the GoFundMe should be shut down. This ain't no GoFundMe for nothing significant. This is a grift. They trying to make money off this kid's death, guys. I am tired of people using their loved one's blood in order to make money. Do not send no money, fam. Starve them out. Starve that family out. You mean to tell me this kid had family from his mom's side, family from his dad's side, and you want me to believe they're all heartbroken and hurt because he's dead when none of them decided to take him in the care of their home? But this woman have the nerve to start a GoFundMe and y'all sent her $1,200 already? Why are black folks so emotional? Because I know white people ain't sending nothing. They're not going to send $1, fam. They're going to look at this story logically and they're going to be like, wait a minute, Ringo's right. I thought the same thing. Why the family wasn't there for this child? Why the child had to be taken into foster care in the first place if he got family that love him? When you got family that love you, they normally will take you in, just like my grandma took me and my brothers in. She ain't have to take us in. You know, she was an older woman. She already raised her kids, but she took us in because she had love for us. She didn't want to see us in foster care being destroyed. You know, many foster kids back then, man, they got abused, man, especially if you was a girl. They would abuse you in foster care. Sometimes your own foster brothers would literally both take turns sexually assaulting you. There have been so many stories back in the day of girls being thrown into foster care and the other foster kids are sexually violating them. And the parents had no clue what was going on behind closed doors. You know, do not support this GoFundMe, guys. Do not. This boy was neglected by his family. This boy was neglected and rejected by his family for whatever reason. They did not care about him. And now he's dead. If he was with his family, he would have never been by that lake. If he was around his family who loved him, around his cousins and other kids that are decent, he would have been able to play and just be a 13-year-old. But instead, he was busy getting in fights. And imagine, Daryl was under the water with stab wounds. And they're both holding him under the water. And he can't breathe. And he's looking up. He can see the surface, but he can't get up there because they're holding him under. I want you to think about that. I want you to vision it in your mind of him under the water and he can't breathe. And he's there crying out for help and they won't let him up. These monsters, these animals, they did this to him. You understand? But that's not designed so that you can go and start a race war and start hating white people. These killers deserve to be put in prison and tried as adults. And they need 50 years apiece. Do you understand? But I want you folks to think about why they didn't show the other 16-year-old. They trying to use the juvenile this and that. Nah, fam, we need to know who they are. And I really believe the other murderer is white. I'm not white, excuse me, black. Because if they were white, they would have showed them already. They showed us this kid. And he fit the profile of the very type of kids you see plastered all over the news all the time. So if somebody look at him, they're going to say he don't like black people. He's a racist. He must have a white supremacist daddy. That's what they're going to use to sell you the grift, to rage bait you. So I'm going to keep you guys posted. I'm going to continue to follow this story to find out more. I'm going to do a little more research and bring you an update in the morning about this. I might come back on again to go live to talk about another update in regards to the Nolan Wells situation. So I might do that, probably grab something to eat and then pretty much do a late night show, probably after 12, somewhere probably around 12:31. All depends. I'll see how I'm going to do it. But nonetheless, guys, appreciate y'all stopping by. It is what it is. We got to really do better, guys. The black community got to stop being emotionally invested in these stories and begin to use logic and think clear before you react with sending money in support. It's like we just can't keep doing this, guys. We got to hold the families accountable. If this family took this black kid in, he would be alive today. No doubt about it.
Reporting live in Chester, Tina Terry, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Some of those details are horrific. Tina, thank you. Lowry was about to start 8th grade at Chester Middle School. The district released a statement today saying, in part, we are all mourning his tragic loss. He was loved by many and will forever live in our hearts.
So there you go, guys. So we're going to get up on out of here. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the platform. If you're new, guys, and you want to join my live chat, become a channel member. That way you can have access to the live chat, because my live chat is a safe place where you can pretty much post your comments. You don't have to worry about trolls and a bunch of mess and people, acting a fool. It's a place where civilized adults can have conversations and share their thoughts about what's going on. I'm not looking for an echo chamber. If any of you think that, that's not what this is about. I'm looking for people to have decent conversations. If you disagree with me, you can always be in the chat and disagree respectfully. And if you have any constructive criticism, you can share that as well. Once you become disrespectful now, that is when I have to regulate the situation. But other than that, hope everybody have a blessed day. I hope everybody is doing well, mentally, spiritually, financially, everything else. Appreciate everybody stopping by to the stream, and I'll catch you all on the next episode. So we're going to get up on out of here, gang. 13-year-old Daniel Lowry, murdered, South Carolina. Let's go, gang. Ringo TV Reactions, the #1 reactionary channel on YouTube, bringing you the best commentary in these YouTube streets. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel, Ringo TV. I'm out. Y'all take care. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat, the channel members, everybody in the building. I'll catch you all in the next stream. I'm out. Peace. We out of here.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100%